Hi everybody. I'm out here in the garden. I'm gonna pick a few things this morning. I picked a couple earlier, but I had to run back in for something. So I'm gonna finish picking it now, and I figure I would take you along with me so we can see how the garden's going. So over here is still the potatoes that's gone crazy. And I do have a few cherry tomatoes that are ready. Got them. Got a few of those. And then my other tomatoes, I don't grow the real big ones because, like I said, everything is in grow bags here as we've seen before. But we got some of the bigger tomatoes. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's could be a little bit riper, but we'll take it anyways. It's my San Marzano tomato. They're beautiful. These are the most prettiest tomatoes. So I got a few of those. Not a lot, coming in. I got quite a few green beans this morning, but I don't have any cucumbers yet. But I also wanted to tell you that when I need to tie up my tomato plants, I do use the clips, but at the same time, I took and cut a bunch of t-shirts that I had from when I had them at work. I cut them up and made yarn out of it. I'm going to crochet. Well, I started crocheting like a mat for the back of my car for the floor because Harley sheds. She's a dog. And so I kept the scraps because it's real soft. And if you stretch the t-shirt material out, stretch it out like this, it almost gets like yarn. And you can use it to tie different things up. Um, like this one tomato I have, I can turn you around here and show you. Uh, I need to stake it a little bit. I have it in a basket, but if you take the t-shirt yarn and then just take and loosely tie it around like this, like maybe a little knot, because then you cut them off when you're done with them, and it works good. It doesn't cut into the plant, and you're not wasting anything that could be repurposed for something else. So yeah, we have that. That's the tomatoes. And over here is the cucumbers. I don't know if you can see those. The sun's really bright out here today. So these are the cucumbers. They're turning out lots and lots and lots of flowers on them. Lots of flowers. And there's our swimming pool that my son-in-law has been working very, very hard on. Very hard. So we have those. And then I have my borage plants that I have several. I showed you guys before, but they are just, let me see if I tilt you down a little bit right here. They are just beautiful. They have the prettiest little flowers. They're like a purplish blue kind of. They're pretty. And they bloom and bloom and bloom. They're gorgeous. So I need to tie back those marigolds a little bit and get them off of my, move you up here a little bit, get them off of my pepper plants. But I got a couple of nice sized peppers growing on there. But yeah, so we have some nice things going right now. Everything seems to be working out pretty well. I did cut some of my celery plants, which is right there. Cut some of that off. I'm going to dehydrate that. And I cut off some of my onion tops as well, because they get too tall and then they start falling over. So I'll show you what I do with those later on. But yeah, everything's turning out really well here. It's all growing really well. Sorry for all the shaking. Sorry. But anyways, okay, that's all I got for you guys right now. So I will see you soon in the kitchen with the dehydrator. Hi, I decided to take a little break here on the front porch. Um, as a as I said, I have a garden for many reasons. It it is a stress reliever for sure. You get out there, you're in the sun, getting some vitamin D, getting a little suntan. And I live in basically, well, now a dog is barking, but basically, I live in a pretty quiet neighborhood. And I go out in the garden. I usually go early in the morning and pick whatever needs to be picked. But like I said, today I had to break it up a little bit. Um, and so I'll grow a lot of tomatoes. And if I don't get as many tomatoes as I think that I need for the year, I go to the farmer's market, which is not even a mile away from here, and I'll buy tomatoes from a local farmer and use those to can tomatoes and make tomato sauce and just whatever. Most of the time, I'll just can tomatoes and then I'll end up turning it into whatever I'm going to use it for when I'm ready to use it. And only the tomatoes, the only thing that I'll add any kind of salt to because I would rather season it whatever I'm canning after on what I'm ready to use it. So, anyways, but every year I usually put up about 150 to 200 pints of food, and that'll take me through the winter. Now, of course, I don't grow all of that, but um, I do source it locally. And if the grocery store is running a big sale on something, like last year, they had potatoes on sale. I grow potatoes, but they were on sale, so I bought them, canned up a bunch of potatoes, and that works out really well for me. So I'll tell you a quick story. About it'll be 3 years November, and my granddaughter, the one that's also type 1 diabetic, same as I, she took me to a concert. It was the Old Dominion concert, and it was a birthday present for me. And we were getting ready to leave. Somebody hit into me, and I fell and broke my shoulder. And I fractured my arm also. So I was absolutely positively miserable. I slept in probably, I would say, about 6 weeks. I slept in a recliner, could lay in the bed, had 30 appointments for physical therapy, couldn't move my arm. It was an immobilizer for 6 weeks. So, but I remember it was like a couple of days after I broke it. I was sleeping in a recliner, and I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted fried potatoes. I was like, that's all I could get, and in my head, it was just it's all I thought about was getting some fried potatoes. Well, I couldn't peel potatoes because I had a messed up arm. It tore the tendons in my arm and my wrists, and it affected my fingers, and I just couldn't do anything. First, they thought I broke my wrist, but then they did X-rays and it wasn't. So, anyways, I was like sitting there thinking I would just die for some fried potatoes. So I got up, I got a jar of potatoes that I had canned, drained them off, rinsed them a little bit, got them a little bit dry, and I had frozen onions because I had bought an abundance of onions. So I chopped them up, diced them up, and I froze them. So I got some of them out, and I also have frozen peppers. So, and I got some of those, and those were already diced also as well. So I fried some potatoes. So here it's around 4:30 in the morning, and I'm sitting there eating fried potatoes. But point is, had I not canned that stuff to have it ready for myself, you know, it would I wouldn't have had fried potatoes. So my daughter and her family live on the first floor, and she would have gladly peeled potatoes, maybe fried potatoes, but probably not at 4 o'clock in the morning. So canning things and having prepared things on the shelf does pay off. It really does. And it makes life just a little bit easier. And if you're gonna cut up potatoes to cook them or whatever for a dinner for mashed potatoes, cut up extra and can them. I have a pressure canner, and I think that it was like, I don't know, $150, and I had it 3 years ago, and nothing is paid for itself, time after over and over and over. So, anyways, but that's why, one reason I garden, because I like it. I garden because it makes my life easier. And you know how you're growing your food. You know what it's growing in, you know what you're fertilizing it with. And to be honest with you, I amend my soil so well when I'm ready to plant things that rarely I even have to fertilize anything. It grows in the grow bag, and I know they said the water leaches it out, but mine is fine. And I use organic soil and cow manure, and that's about all I have in my soil, and it grows fine. And it's plenty enough food for me, and I also share it with my daughter's family. So, and it's enough for me to put up a little bit, you know, for during the winter. All right. Well, I'm gonna take a little break, and then I'll be back with you on the back porch garden where I got my little garden up there also. Hi, I'm out here on my back porch garden. It's what I call it. And just to show you the progress, this was lettuce that I hadn't even planted a week ago, be a week tomorrow. So it's coming right along. I have that tray. And then I also have this tray. It's all leaf lettuce, but it's not even a week's growth. See how fast it grows? And then I have these little teeny sage plants that I had started. They're little, but they're getting bigger, so that's good. And I gave all of my little green onions a haircut because I needed some onions. So, but they're starting to grow back. I think I cut off of them 2 or 3 days ago, but they're already growing new stuff on there. I like to put these in my salad. The onion tops, I love them in a salad. I think I just love onions either which way. So we have that. And then I cheated a little bit. Let me get this one. And I bought this sage plant. Marked down for 75 cents at Menards. Love it. I love sage. I love the smell of it. So I got the little ones that I started from seed, and then I just had to rescue this one. I couldn't leave it there to die. So we have that one. And then we have the little basil plant, and just an update. sorry, on my tomato plant. It is still going strong. And then down there, I have a few more seeds. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot to show you. I said I was just going to try it for the fun of it. These are my radishes that I started. They're getting big. They're a week old also. So hopefully you can see that. We'll see what they're going to do. They might grow, they might not grow, but we tried anyways. All right. I'll see you in just a bit. Next, we're going to show the dehydrator. Okay, I am in my kitchen right now, and I wanted to show you the dehydrator. I've had this dehydrator for probably at least 5 years. And during the summer, I use it all the time. I use it for different things. But these are the onion tops that I told you I took off this morning. And then we'll set that aside. And there's some more onion tops that I'd taken off. And these are the leaves, which you can hear already are starting to dehydrate from the celery. See, they're already starting to dehydrate. I have 2 trays of those. Whoops. There you go. 2 trays. So I'm dehydrating these, and what I will end up doing with them is putting them in I just use real easy my Ninja, and I just take and throw them in there and then chop them up till it's powdered, and then I use them when I'm cooking, like for onion salt. If I need onion salt, onion powder rather. You can make onion salt, onion powder, either one. And then instead of celery seed, it would be, celery powder for soups and different things like that. So these are my tomatoes that I got today all together. And then my green beans are just now starting to come in. So today I took the ends off and broke them. So I'm washing them now. Then I'm going to probably put them in the refrigerator and probably cook them tomorrow. And then these are the peas that I left hanging on the vines to dry from where I had peas this spring, so that I'll have pea seeds for, you can see one of them already came out. You can plant them again in the fall or again in the spring. And then one other thing I wanted to tell you, groceries cost much money, and where I can save, I save. So, sorry about that. So what I do for sausage, instead of buying breakfast sausage, which is like $3 a pound, they'll run pork on sale a lot, and I'll buy the pork, and then I grind it up in my food processor and season it, and I make my own sausage patties. So they run the pork on sale for 99 cents a pound a lot of times here at Jewel, and so I'll buy it, season it up, and then this morning I fried some. I'll show you. It's dark because I put maple syrup in it. And so when it fries, fries up to be a little bit darker. But it is delicious, just delicious. There's no fat in it. I cooked this in my air fryer this morning because I didn't want to get the kitchen all hot and whatever. But that sausage is just got maybe a little bit of basil in it. I just put a little bit of dry basil and some salt, pepper, a teeny tiny little bit of cayenne pepper, and maple syrup, and it is delicious, just delicious. Hi everybody, we're back. It's the next day. Just wanted to tell you that we dehydrated all of the celery in the dehydrator, so all the celery leaves. So this is them. We have all those done. So this is how much we have. Oops. Um, in our container, and after we go over to the Ninja and grind it, it's going to be a lot less. So we have all of that, and then we also have our onions that we dehydrated, the onion tops. So I'm going to grind those as well. I'll be right back just as soon as I get these all grinded up and show you what they look like in the jars. And just like that, we got celery and onion powder. You can use it any kind of things that you want that you cook. It's all powdered up. So things that we would have wasted from the garden is now being used. Anyways, and then also just want to let you know all my seeds came. I got like a lot of seeds from my gardener. Again, I'm not affiliated with them at all. I just buy a majority, at least 99%, I would say, of my seeds from them. So I hope you have the best day ever. And thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to like, comment, share if you like this video. Until later, we'll see you later. Bye bye.